as my grandmother used to say. Let's put our hands together. Oh, first of all, I'm sorry, I forgot to do this. I'd like to thank all the staff and volunteers here at the Auburn Public Theater. I want to thank Bo over there at the door. Martin's back there, working the bar, doing his thing. I want to thank Tony right here on sound. Yeah, Tony. Thank Carrie and Angela and Janie and Brian and all the wonderful people. So, coming to the stage now with his wonderful stand-up, he's going to slay us. Let's give it up to Ray Carnicelli.
Good evening, everybody. I appreciate you coming out tonight, and I just want to recognize my good friend Tony Dodavo. Tony, everyone give him a round of applause. Part of the reason I'm up here tonight is Tony and I were talking the other night, and he said, you should really go up. You've been kicked out of more classrooms than anybody I know for making wise-ass comments. And Tony, I appreciate it. People don't know, Tony just recently moved back to Auburn from New York City. Tony, welcome back. Glad to have you. While Tony was in New York, he had his whole family fooled, thinking he was in the hospitality business, running restaurants with the movers and shakers. He was actually very big in the porn industry. People don't know that. All aspects of porn, Tony was involved in. From the filming, the lighting, the sound, right? The sound's very important in porn, right, Tony? He was involved in porn so much that someday you're gonna be home. That channel's going to come on. Should I watch it? Shouldn't I watch it? Should I go to that website or shouldn't I go to it? Someday you're going to be home watching porn, and so is Tony. When Tony and I were talking the other night, he said, Raymond, you should go up. Auburn Public Theater, you've been there before. You've seen some horrible acts. I mean, the worst acts you can ever imagine. On your worst day, you'll be better than some of the acts we've seen. And for those of you who've been here for about an hour, you'd have to agree, right? There's some god-awful acts tonight. But when I talked to Tony, he said it's easy. Don't worry about it. Treat it like I treat my sex life. You give him 5 good minutes. Anything after that, you just consider it a bonus. Right, Tony? But I drove up here from Florida. I grew up in Auburn. Drove all the way from North Florida with my 3 kids, my wife, my mother-in-law, and my dog. I know what you're thinking. Who gives a shit, right? I'm trying to forget about it myself. But I grew up not too far from here, just up the road, over on Orchard Street. Does anyone know Orchard Street? It's a great place to grow up. A great place to be from. We called it our neighborhood. It was our neighborhood. We referred to it as our neighborhood. They changed the name, though. Now they just call it the Hood. I don't understand. They're just trying to shorten things. I've heard it called Cell Block O. I've heard it called the O Block. But to me, it's still Orchard Street. It'll always be Orchard Street. Some things have changed there. If you've been down there recently and you survived, I appreciate it. You understand what I'm talking about. But you go down there, and Dom's grocery store is still there. Everyone who grew up in this area knows Dom's, right? I remember running down there as a kid to get cigarettes for my dad. You know, 10 years old, 9, 10 years old. You'd run all the way down the street to Dom's. He'd give you $1, go get my cigarettes. And hopefully you'd have enough change to buy some Bazooka Joe bubble gum and maybe a pack of football cards. You go in there, give him the $1, Dom would give you cigarettes, and he never cared. You're 10 years old, you're buying cigarettes, you get your Pall Malls, and this is pretty strange. Dom's giving me cigarettes, and he didn't care. He knew they weren't for me. I mean, I smoked Camels, and these were Pall Malls, so I mean, what's the big deal? But I recently went into Dom's, and growing up as a kid, you go into Dom's, and I know some people were there back in the 70s, maybe even before that. I mean, Sam Vitale's here. He's probably there in the 50s, 40s. How far back do we go? You'd walk in, and there would be some fresh Tato's bread. There would be some crates full of dried codfish, some sesame seeds. There'd be olives, fresh homemade pizza. I went there the other day. It hasn't changed that much. They had Twinkies that were from the 90s. They were pretty fresh. And there was a hardworking immigrant man there, not Dom, but another hardworking immigrant. His name was Punjab Sanel Abdul, I'm not sure. It wasn't Dom, but it's pretty much the same thing. Dom's hasn't changed a bit. Instead of peppers and pizza, you would get Powerball and malt liquor. I mean, it hasn't changed that much. But one thing they still have, what's Dom's famous for, everybody? Still have lemon ice, it still tastes the same, so I encourage you to go to Dom's. As I said before, we drove up from Florida. I'm from the South, and the first thing people think of when they come from the South, you say you're from the South, is inbred rednecks, living in trailer parks, driving pickup trucks with guns in the rack in the pickup truck, right? How many people think that immediately if you're from the South? Think of it as Cato with alligators and better weather. It's pretty much the same thing. Is anyone here from Cato? Cato, you're from Cato? So you skipped the cross burning tonight. Okay, so we got one guy from Cato here. When you go around central New York and you go into these little towns, you go east, west, north, south, you see little towns and they all brag. They have signs outside that say what their town is famous for. You come into Auburn and what's it say?
It's water.
They've got good water. The water has not yet been proven to kill you. So they put a sign up. That's pretty good. They also say #1 manufacturer of license plates in North America. So that's pretty good too. You go over to Skinny Atlas. You drive there, it's kind of hoity-toity. Any chance there's anybody here from Skinny Atlas tonight? No way. I don't believe it. You weren't born there. You go into Skinny Atlas and you go up, whether you're going up Genesee Street, and there's a big sign that says, "Welcome to Skinny Atlas. Please dress properly." Right? Have you seen that sign? A little hoity-toity. You go to Cato, and the sign says, "We're #1 in incest rate in New York State." It's kind of strange, but you go right out 34 and you'll see the sign there in Cato. But living in Florida is a little different from living in upstate New York. You have to stay in shape in Florida. Good weather year-round. You have to wear your bathing suit. You can't get away with things you get away in upstate New York. But the girls in upstate New York learn very early on that you have to wear big baggy sweaters to hide your giant ass if you're going to put on weight. You can't get away with that in Florida, but in New York, you do it. Any girls tonight wearing big giant sweaters hanging over their giant asses? Just one guy over here. But in Florida, you have to stay in decent shape, and it's tough on the girls. They go to the beach. They've got young girls who, they're wearing these tiny bikinis. They've got these new things that they're called cougars. Does anyone know? Is there any cougars here tonight? No cougars. So there's a lot of competition, and you have these cougars. So when you start getting a little older, I know it's tough for me to stay in shape. I've got to watch the love handles. My hairline gets a little higher. It's just tough to stay in shape, but especially for the girls. The eyes go, the hair starts turning gray. They might put on weight where they didn't want to put on weight before. So they really have to stay in shape. And so the battle comes up. What do? Do I just work at it 24 hours a day? Do I cheat? Do I get surgery? And I'm not sure how big surgery is here in upstate New York. I've been away for about 20 years. But in Florida, it's surgery. You've got your Botox. You've got your liposuction. You've got your ass suction. You've got LASIK surgery. Everything you could possibly want. Boob jobs. Every other girl's got boob jobs. So I have this conversation with my wife. She wants a boob job. And she wants LASIK surgery. Kelly, stand up. Kelly, right here. We've had this conversation maybe even today. Should I get a boob job? Should I get LASIK surgery? Get a boob job, get LASIK surgery. So we go on and on. We have this argument. Kelly, I love you the way you are. You don't need to do anything. She insists. Hearing aid. Color my hair. I got to get rid of the wrinkles. Boob job, LASIK. Boob job, LASIK. So on and on. Finally, I give up. I can't take it anymore. Should I get the boob job or the LASIK? Boob job, LASIK. Whatever. She says, I have to do, I'm going to do one or the other. I said, how about we do this? We go for one this year and one next year. Is that fair enough? I'm accommodating her. And so she's trying to decide, she's excited. I don't know whether I should get the boob job or the LASIK surgery. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you can get one or the other. I said, you can get one boob done or the other boob done. One this year, one the next year. And I said, what difference does it make? You're not going to have your eyes on. You can barely see it anyway. And so we finally agreed that we get the boob job only if she got it on her back so I could grab her tits while we're slow dancing.